Okay, so this is it's kind of a sad day for me because this is the last book, well, it's the first book post of my last quarter of my senior year at Western, which is really sad. I'm going to be graduating in like 9 weeks. Really, seriously, 9 weeks. It's terrifying. So, I have 3 books, but 2 of them I don't actually have the book with me because it was at home, and so I don't have it. But the first, so I do have the third book, which will be at the end, so you'll get an actual book thing at the end. And the first book is called The Summerhouse. It's by Jude Deveraux, and it is a fantastic book. I love this book. I actually bought it for like 99 cents at one of the used bookstores in town here in Bellingham, and I've read it I think at least twice now, and I have been reading a lot of other books, and so getting to read it twice is kind of an achievement because it wasn't one of those like, oh my god, it's my favorite book in the freaking world. I'm gonna read it 18 billion times over the course of the next 2 months. But it's a great book, and I think part of it is that it's a romance novel, so you get a little bit of romance in it, but it's not just focused on the romance. It's focused more on the women, and there's 3 women, and they go away to a summer house in Maine. They met one time when they were on their 21st birthday at the DMV, and they're now turning 40, and they're meeting at this summer house in Maine. And it's really a good book because you get the interactions with the women, and you get how bonds are formed with women friends, and you get to see each woman develop, and you get a bunch of stories all in one story, and it's really fun because I love stories where you just get backstory, and backstory is just as good as the actual story, and so it's like stories within stories within stories. And it was a really fun book. I definitely recommend it, and I read the sequel. I don't know if I like the sequel quite as much as Summerhouse, but both books are great if you're looking for something that's just just fun. And they're a little bit long. They're probably like 400 pages, but they're good, so you should read them. Second book is one of those really kind of cheesy teen romantic books that I'm almost embarrassed to admit that I read, and then I'm like, hey, I love them, and so they should totally count as real literature. By the way, my American Lit professor says that literature is anything that has ever been written down, including a grocery list. So, if you read your grocery list, you are a fine scholar of literature, according to her. Not according to me, exactly. But all books for me are, even if they're terrible books, you're reading, which makes me happy. So, sorry. The second book is called Love on the Lips. It's by Rachel Hawthorne, I believe. Yes, by Rachel Hawthorne. And it is about this girl who has gone to a ski resort with her 2 friends. Her aunt rents condos there, and so her aunt had an extra condo and let the girl and her friends stay there, and they thought they were just gonna have like a awesome winter vacation all alone, and unfortunately, the girl's name is Kate, by the way, so I'm just gonna start calling her Kate. Kate's brother shows up with 2 of his college friends in tow, and one of these friends, Kate has had a crush on for a long time, and the other one of these friends is awesome. I love him. He's great. So it's one of those where you're like, it's just a typical teen romance, and it's fun, and sometimes you're like, oh my god, why are you so oblivious? I'm going to beat you over the freaking head. Not a lot, because it's actually a good book for even for a teen romance. It's a good book, and but you still have those moments. You always have those moments with those kinds of books. You have those moments with a lot of different kinds of books. Sometimes the heroes and heroines are very dense, and you want to hit them. but you don't, because that would be wrong, and because they're incorporeal, so you can't. But Love on the List, Rachel Hawthorne, good book, really fun, quick read. And the last book is The Devil's Due. It's by Jenna Black, and it's part of her Morgan Kingsley series. And Morgan is a exorcist, a demon exorcist, and she's being inhabited by the king of the demons. He can't exactly manifest himself. This is actually the third book in the series, so I'm trying not to tell you anything you don't realize in the first book. But you need to know about Lou, because he's important. So she has Lou in her head. He's not in charge, as most demons are in their hosts, but he's there. And sometimes he makes snarky comments. This is a series I'm not sure if I enjoy and love, or I just find intriguing, and so I have to keep reading and seeing what happens next, because it's just a kind of an odd book. And this is a warning for people who have certain ideological closed-mindedness and can't handle it in books. One of the people that Morgan knows and interacts with on a fairly regular basis is a gay couple who are into S&M. So that is odd, which, I mean, it doesn't really bother me, but I don't think I've read any other books that have had that, except for Vicious's book, and Vicious is a different kind of thing for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why, but he is. And so I'm not sure if I just enjoy these books, or I find them intriguing and want to know what happens next with Morgan and Lou and whatever else is happening. So, The Devil's Due by Jenna Black. It was a pretty good book. It actually really was. And she has a very sarcastic voice, which is nice. I love sarcastic heroines, especially ones who realize that they have flaws, but they're not going to fix them. So those are the 3 books that I have this time. They are fun books. I hope they're interesting books to you. I'm really excited because I have the next Black Dagger Brotherhood book, and I want to read it. So on next Friday, you will have at least this book, because there's no way it is going to take me very long to read it, because I will forsake everything except for school and sleep so that I can finish it once I finally start it, because I'm afraid to start it because I won't be able to put it down. So anyway, yay books! I'm glad that I am back, and I will try and have videos uploaded with some sort of regularity, as opposed to before, when it was like 3 weeks between video posts, which was bad, and I feel terrible about that. Also, I can't really fix the lighting. This is with all of the lights in my dorm room on, so I will try and get it as well lit as possible, but for the most part, this is about as good as it's going to get while I'm here. So, thanks for watching.